Hey everybody, Stepmethod5 here, and I recently stumbled across someone posting an old Tekken 7 clip. After seeing this clip and reading some of the responses, I've been a bit inspired to make this video and have a bit of a discussion about Tekken 7 and 8. So in the rare few instances I make the brave decision to venture into the internet cesspit known as Twitter, I stumbled upon this Tekken 7 clip. I'm just going to show the whole clip first. It's not very long.
Sometimes the second hit won't reach. So aware. Oh my
gosh, this is so dangerous. Both of these guys going at each other's throats. Oh my god, did you see those ducks?
I have no words. I'm speechless.
Now, after seeing that clip, you may be thinking to yourself, well, what's really the big deal? Or that didn't really seem all too interesting, or something kind of along those lines. It just looked like a basic Tekken match. And yeah, that's the whole point. That's the entire point. On the surface, that Tekken 7 clip looked pretty standard. Some might even dare to call it boring. But that's what lies within what I wanted to talk about in this video. How much more relaxed and methodical Tekken used to be. Now, I am by no means a Tekken professional, but I am familiar with the franchise and have played some of the older games in the series. But I want to use this clip as a jumping off point to explain what I believe are the problems with Tekken 8 and why it's such a divisive game. Firstly, just look at the basic flow of what was going on in the clip. The overall gameplay is just very relaxed and methodical. There's not just a constant stream of back and forth super pressure with one opponent heat smashing the other and then unleashing on them with a series of forced 50-50s, logging them down until the other opponent reverses that, and then that whole series that starts over again. Rinse repeat, back and forth until somebody wins. And by the way, I do know that that Tekken 7 clip was from a much older season from Tekken 7, and that even Tekken 7 itself has some of the systems that would, go on to be featured and cranked way up in Tekken 8. So if you want to know how Tekken really used to be back in the day, I'm talking some good old Tekken. You're going to have to go even further back in the series to find that. Another point is, look at the lack of visual clutter on the screen. Early Tekken 7 had a lot more clean visual presentation to it. There isn't just a whole bunch of effects or glowing auras and stuff going on. But then you look at Tekken 8 and it's just a bunch of heat effects, particles, tornadoes, and flash and all that. It just makes the game look like absolute chaos is going on during the gameplay. It just makes the game look like absolute chaos is going on during the entirety of every match. And from a more casual spectator side of it, I'm sure that makes the game look really hype. Just a bunch of flashing lights and particles and cutscenes and that effect that the game does when you try to hit someone when they've done an armor move. I'm sure as a spectator watching it, it's quite a visual treat to watch. Being on the playing end of that just doesn't feel as good. It just makes Tekken 8 feel like visual clutter. It doesn't make the game look clean. It's just constant stuff going on, which I find distracting, not only from a gameplay standpoint, but also from a spectator standpoint too. It just makes Tekken 8 feel like it's just flash and spectacle for surface level appeal, to appeal to the more, modern audiences, which, that was Bamco's purpose. That's what they set out to do with Tekken 8, was they wanted to make it a visual spectacle for the spectators of tournaments and stuff, and to make it look really appealing to the people that just sit back and watch it. And fair play to them, they definitely succeeded in what they set out to do, that's for sure. And this also adds up to the fact that it makes the game look like it's a lot more fast paced, which, to be honest, it is. It gives it look like it's a lot more fast paced with all of the visuals, and it actually is more fast paced in its gameplay style. And that right there is kind of like the most annoying part for me. I don't really play a whole lot of fighting games myself. It's just mainly Tekken with a little bit of Skullgirls thrown in there. That's about it for me. And I don't really click with these really fast paced fighters, that have a whole lot going on and all that. I like the more slower paced style of fighting games. Well, with what few fighting games I even play. And that's one of the reasons why I like Tekken. It was a somewhat fast paced game, but it wasn't just seemingly all over the place. The direction Tekken 8 has taken seems to be the polar opposite of that. And I've said this in a previous video, but when I play Tekken, I have a more slower defensive play style. And in the older Tekken games, that seemed more balanced to be able to suit that type of playstyle, along with a more aggressive playstyle and even something a little bit in between the two. The way Tekken 8 is designed, it makes it feel like it's more heavily skewed towards an aggressive playstyle, which, as stated earlier, makes it great content from a spectator standpoint of it, but it doesn't feel good to actually play it, to actually be participating in it, and also adds towards the fast-paced look and feel of the game also. It almost feels like you're being punished for playing defensively or passively in this game. Now, I know that it's not completely impossible to play defensively in Tekken 8. You can still do that, but it's just what the nature of the game and the way the game is and how the game has been designed and stuff. It just makes it very hard and really annoying to play like that. Another thing I wanted to add to my personal gripe with Tekken 8 is the incorporation of projectiles. Yes, not a lot of the characters in the game really have projectiles, but just the fact that they still exist like they do in this game is a bit of a problem to me. This is another reason why I like the older Tekken games in the past. They didn't really have projectiles in those games. The closest you really got to projectiles in the older Tekken games was like Kazuya and Devil Jin's devil laser that they would shoot out of their forehead, and Jinpachi's giant FU fireball he shot out of his stomach. But other than those, that was like pretty much it for the most part. I've just never really liked the idea of projectiles in a fighting game. It's just always seemed kind of like really annoying to me having projectiles in fighting games. Now, yes, I know fighting games do give you tools and options to be able to dodge or deal with people that, use a lot of projectiles and stuff. But honestly, I've just personally found their inclusion in a fighting game, like I said, just annoying. Like, why am I dealing with objects being thrown at me in a fighting game? We're supposed to be fighting, not throwing orbs or whatever at each other. I'm here to play a fighting game, not a dang third-person shooter. If I have to dodge something, I want to be dodging hands, not fireballs or whatever. Like, heck, even my main character that I like to use in Tekken is Nina. Even in Tekken 8, they gave Nina a freaking gun she can actually use in the gameplay now. As soon as I saw they had those guns that Nina could use, I'm like, why? Why would they do that? She's had guns before in like some of the older games, but those are always in cutscenes. She was never able to fire her guns in the cutscene. Sure, she can't just sit back and shoot it or anything. Maybe it's a part of her attack and certain attacks and stuff, but like it's just freaking annoying. But regardless of that, it's all of these things that just make Tekken 8 seem like, honestly, at this point, Tekken 8 is an anime fighter. I gotta say it, man. It really feels like Tekken 8 is just an anime fighter at this point, with all this heat, pressure, aggression, tornadoes, 50-50s, the projectiles all over the place. It's just like an amalgamation of everything. This game's just like turned into some like weird like anime fighter. Like, bro, like, dude, am I playing Tekken or a Dragon Ball Z game at this point? Like, this isn't my Tekken, dude. This is not the Tekken I enjoyed playing in the past. If I wanted to play an anime fighter, I'd go play an anime fighter, something like that. When I want to play Tekken, I want to play some Tekken. I want a more grounded martial arts kind of game, which the old Tekkens were more like that. I mean, yeah, some of the moves and stuff were a bit, over exaggerated or over the top due to the nature of it being a video game and stuff like that. And Tekken wasn't really trying to be like a simulation fight or anything. It wasn't like hardcore realistic, but for the most part, Tekken's gameplay was always somewhat grounded based on like the fighting moves and styles and the characters have. But now you just got all this extra like stuff that the characters do. It's just ridiculous now. But now it's just like watching a Dragon Ball Z fight. And third, now this point isn't as surface level as the first two, but this is more on a deeper gameplay level of critique I have with this. Now, like I said, I'm no Tekken expert, but I'm going to try my best to explain what I mean. It's all about the movement and the spacing and what moves specifically that the fighters are doing and not doing. It's not boring when you really see what the players are doing. That's what I miss with Tekken 8. In this game, this type of methodical and paced movement / gameplay just doesn't really exist to this degree in Tekken 8. With that Tekken 7 clip, and in the older Tekken games in general, the gameplay may look minimal on inspection, but in the deeper meaning of movement and the action-reaction, there's more going on than meets the eye. In some Tekken gameplay, when both players are really locked in and focused and acting and reacting to each other's movements and attacks, It's almost like this sort of like intense dance between the two, knowing that if one person just moves the wrong way, reacts the wrong way, throws out the wrong attack, or just overextends just a little bit, then that could lead to them just eating a launcher or something, and that could possibly cost them the round, if not the whole match. So previous Tekken's gameplay was like this sort of dance where it wasn't about flashy moves and heat smashes and tornadoes and all that. It was about how you move and react according to what your opponent is doing. But with Tekken 8, it's just heat smash, run in, 50-50, buttons, buttons, buttons. You guessed wrong? Launcher. Into an easy ass wall carry combo. Oh, you're on the ground? Then try to get back up. Oh, but your opponent just steps it and you get hit with something else and now you're in another combo or something just to get wall splatted. Oh, did you try to sidestep? Well, guess what, buddy? Super tracking. Eat another combo. It's insane, dude. This game is nuts. And before I end this video off, I just wanted to go through a few of the replies to the tweet that had the clip, just to reiterate on some things, as some of these replies also inspired me to want to make this video. So you see here we have, this kind of Tekken is a fundamentally different experience than what we have in Tekken 8. I agree. I pretty much detailed that in this whole video. And yeah, I miss the older style of Tekken. Watching a Tekken 8 match is miserable. No clue where the hype is meant to be. It's just constant buttons 24/7. I miss these old clips so much more hype and interesting from multiple standpoints. I agree. I do wish Tekken 8 has a more relaxed style of gameplay where you don't need to feel the pressure to be constantly on the attack and always having to press something just to keep your opponent constantly on lockdown. As you can see, while they went ham with heat, the current generation of audience requires constant action due to their lower attention span. They don't derive any enjoyment from seeing two people constantly afraid of pressing any buttons. I kind of disagree with this one. It's not the short attention spans of the audience, or at least I don't think that's the full reason why. I think it just makes it a more, quote, exciting viewing experience for the more casual, like, viewer/spectator side of it. If someone is watching Tekken at like Evo tournament or something, if they're not well versed or into the game, watching it being played may be boring to them, and this could cause them to tune out and not want to watch because since they're not really into the game like that or well versed on the game's mechanics, they don't get the deeper meaning of what's going on the screen. So they don't bother watching. Then this lowers the number of viewers and hurts like the overall viewer numbers for the game and, you know, possibly sponsorships and stuff like that for the game. So as I stated in the video, all of this fluff and flash is primarily for like more casual viewer retention, which if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure Bandai Namco said that was what they wanted Tekken 8, it was what they wanted out of Tekken 8. They wanted it to be like that. And I disagree with Bamco on this. I don't like it, but sadly that's just the direction they decided to take this game. A whole lot of nothing in that clip. I disagree. I pretty much tried my best to explain why what looks like a pretty mundane clip is actually a really deep. STFU. Great discussion. No, it wasn't. That's the whole point of Tekken 8, to be more appealing to spectators. I mean, this is what I was saying earlier in the video. I don't like that direction much, but it is what it is. It's baffling to me. People thought making the game an endless sequence of automated flowcharts of aggro and interminable combos and animations would make the game more exciting to watch, let alone play. Pretty much sums up this video. And if you look at your screen right now, you see the kinds of people that Tekken 8 was made for. Y'all is not going to gaslight people into thinking Nibbas dashing in people's face, doing nothing is fire gameplay. It's just boring. Once again, I disagree with this one. There's more to it than that. This is why Tekken 8 was designed the way it was, to appeal to people like this that only look at the game at a surface level and or just find the fighting from the older games boring to watch. What are you talking about? This game was an absolute snooze fest, not just to watch but to play. I have dozed off numerous times in the middle of a match because my opponent was playing like a total dick face with endless turtling and backdashing. Tekken 8 was made because of this. I disagree. Tekken 8 was made because they saw people like this saying these types of things, and Bandai Namco felt like they needed to make a huge change. And finally, we'll end the video off on this. If you don't get why this is gripping, that's why Tekken went the shit direction it did. Yeah, pretty much. But I'll end it here. Tell me what you guys' thoughts are on this. Do you like if you've played Tekken 8, do you like the direction Tekken 8 has taken? Like, if you like the game, then that's fine. I'm not, trashing on anybody that likes Tekken 8. If you like the game, that's fine. Or are you someone that's disappointed in Tekken's new direction? And do you still have hope for the game in the future? Or are you just done with it at this point? That's the Mac 35, and I'm out. Peace.